It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It is Wednesday, September 4th. Oh, let me take you there, says Robert Plant. That would be Kashmir, of course, from Physical Graffiti from 1975. And what better way to kick off a day than with a little bit of Led Zeppelin. All four members of the band all, at some point said that's the ultimate Led Zeppelin song. Like, if you want one song to say, what's the whole bag of tricks? Give us one. At different times, even John Bonham, when he was still with us, they reference that one as like, that's the one where they're like, yeah, that was everything we had right there.
They're a little too close to it, I think. I'll pick it for them.
Really? Come on.
Yeah. Hot dog.
First time first time I ever sat at a drum kit with headphones on and tried to play along to a song, that's what I played along to.
Really?
I didn't do very well. Kind of funny how that works.
Yeah,
had to grow into that one. It is Wednesday, September 4th. We've got a lot of things to get into. Let's get right to the top 5 at 6. Here's all you need to know for the day. Well, it's really hardly all you need to know, but here's a bunch of things we find kind of interesting. Schools around the country are all back in now. A lot of new items are banned at schools around the country. A few jumped out to me.
All right.
First things first, all across America, many schools are saying this is the year, no more cell phones. That's it. We've had enough. Not bringing them into school. You can't even have them in your locker. Leave them at home.
Yeah, they banned them. We got all the notices.
Really? Your kids can't even bring them into the building?
Yes. Well, I don't know about bringing it in the building, but they can't have them out or use them.
What the hell are they going to do all day?
Right.
Something tells me there's going to be some problems.
I don't even know why we're still bothering with school. We have cell phones. We don't need school.
It's a very good
I know
point.
more than any teacher could possibly know. I'm holding it in my right hand right now. You're dumb. Phone smart.
A high school in Alabama has added to the list open-toe slide sandals, hooded sweatshirts, and Crocs even are banned.
That's all they wear.
Hats, sunglasses, headbands, bonnets or bandanas, tight-fitting bodycon dresses. Yeah, they're just going hog wild there. Like, what do you guys like? Don't take it here.
Did you say they banned bonnets? Is that what you said?
Yes.
Yes.
Bonnets?
Attracting bees.
Wow, how about butter churning? Is that taboo?
We're hoping to get back to a little bit more butter churning.
Get rid of the cell phones and start churning our own butter again.
Also, and this is not made up, a lot of girls' restrooms have had the mirrors removed. They say the girls are spending too much time worried about how they look.
Oh my God.
Yeah, this is all going to go poorly.
Yeah, they tried this, I think, in 1946.
I believe that's exactly when they tried it. Number 4 on your top 5 at 6, the band REO Speedwagon. We may have to go back into this a little later in the show. There's a lot of reasons for discontent within rock bands. They're all clown cars. All of them are clown cars. This is a whole new level. Bruce Hall has been the bassist in REO Speedwagon since 1977.
You don't say.
He has missed a few months of touring because he had back surgery.
Oh, God, we
the
missed
band
him.
is not welcoming him back because they don't like the way he stands. He can't stand up straight, and they want the replacement to stay in. And he is literally, this is a guy who has been playing with them for 1977. And he's going, guys, you literally have a problem with how straight I can stand?
It's a bass player. Straight up and down. Don't move. Just
apparently so.
I don't want to see it if I'm a fan. Gross. What's he doing? Hunching over?
I can tell you this. If you guys told me, I've only been here a year and a half. If you said you don't like the way I sit, I'm just going home.
Yeah, well,
I'm not going to complain about it.
I mean, it's that's a moot point. You're a disc jockey. You can stand, sit. We had a guy that used to lay down on the floor to do his show.
Really?
Yeah, and he had an intern in there pushing buttons for him.
Why?
Garth. He had a bad back. I was going to suggest
Did he
that
hold the mic? Like over his head?
The intern was allowed to walk in, turn on the microphone, then had to walk out while he talked. And when the break was over, he'd come back in and shut the microphone off.
No idea.
Yeah, it's fun.
If I'd been on the air with a guy named Garth, I would have only called him Chris Gaines. I would have never called him anything but Chris Gaines.
Yeah.
Number 3 on your top 5 at 6, the driver who crashed his car Sunday night at the Park Tavern. Police did release that he was 4 times the limit, blew a .325.
Yeah.
The less said about that person, the better. Other than I surely will never walk the streets as a free man again.
I hope not. This would be his 6th. He's had 5 before.
That's 4 too many. I'll give everyone 1 pass.
Throw away the key.
I won't give you 2. Number 2 on the top 5 and 6, chocolate chip cookies, according to Ohio State University. So consider the source. I mean, these Buckeye fans are all out of their minds. Apparently, they're telling us chocolate chip cookies are just about as addictive as cocaine. Yes, they're literally saying chocolate chips.
I just snorted a chocolate chip cookie this morning.
How's that going?
Pretty good.
Yeah, pretty great. He's feeling it. Sugar is incredibly addictive. Chocolate chip cookies have about 2 teaspoons per cookie. The fat in the cookies also gets you hooked. There is, but then there's also something that cocaine doesn't have, which is the nostalgia. Chocolate chip cookies take people right back to childhood. So there's even more of a reason to continue. If cocaine brings you back to your childhood, then we need to have a long talk. Then I honestly, I truly feel for you, and you've earned your right to be a mess.
Yeah, the only place I really stall at a grocery store is the chocolate chip cookie section.
Is that true?
Because I won't buy the big bags anymore. Now, at my favorite grocery store, they make them in the bakery department, but in 6-packs. I can't do a 6-pack because that means I'm going to eat 6 cookies tonight. I don't want to eat 6 cookies tonight. So now I found a place that just sells them in singles.
There you go.
Yeah, just one single a day.
Microdose those cookies? Is that what we're doing?
So I got to do what I got to do.
The micro-dosing of chocolate chip cookies. Number 1 on your top 5 and 6. Oh, Vladimir, we hardly knew you. The white beluga whale, first spotted in Norway, just off of Russian waters with a harness that ignited rumors he was probably a spy for Moscow. That's right, a white beluga whale is a spy. Has been found dead, floating in a bay off of the Norwegian coast now. He was, the Russians have used all sorts of animals for spy craft.
Oh, yeah.
This is the first time we ever realized they might be using beluga whales after having trained whales for years for all kinds of military purposes. He had a camera and all kinds of things attached to him, so who knows what was really going on. But, hey, listen, whatever you did, Vladimir, we know it wasn't your choice, and God rest your beluga soul.
The sea was angry that day, my friends.
Certainly was.
I mean, we're coming up with super soldiers. We've just about perfected an artificial intelligent robot super soldier.
Right.
And you're working with the beluga whales, are you, over there?
So who needs the whales,
Don't forget the lasers on the head.
Damn straight. There's your top 5 and 6. Hanover, Minnesota. What's happening? Good morning, Hanover.
Good morning, Hanover.
Another town I got to get to.
Yeah, I mean, it's out there, up to the north and the west, and it's a fine town to drive right on through.
Pleased to know that we've got some people out in Hanover taking a few of their minutes in the morning with us here on the KQ Morning Show. If you, like us, really need your sleep because you have weird hours, apparently the U.S. Army has a way to help. If you have 2 minutes, we can put you to sleep. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
Girlfriends into short dudes? Yeah. How many short guys we got here tonight? Short guys? Yeah, awesome. Yeah, because here's the thing. We're the most marginalized group on the planet. Nobody believes me. It's absolutely true. 1,000%. And people go, well, hey, if short guys helped out other minorities, maybe they would help out short guys. I'm like, dude, we go to all the protests. You just can't see us. Yeah. It's impossible. And they said, well, maybe you guys should start your own protest. Could you imagine dudes our size all protesting? That'd be the most adorable protest ever. People would be like, what do you want? Lollipops.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. That was our buddy Rudy Pavich, who is at the Comedy Corner Underground in Minneapolis Friday, September 13th, then September 14th. And more importantly, for today's purposes anyway, will be joining us in studio at about 8:20. Rudy's a good man, very funny man.
Yeah. Love having Rudy.
He's a good lad.
He's a good lad. I first met Rudy down at, you and I were down to go see, Jay Moore. And he was opening for Jay, and we were hanging out, and I was like, that guy's hilarious. And then as it turns out, he spends a lot of time with us. He's a good man.
Yeah,
Looking forward to it.
Yeah.
Sleep is a real important thing for those of us who wake up at the crack of dawn or earlier. Apparently, the U.S. military has known how to get you to sleep real fast for decades now. And I don't mean they, make you run up and down a hill and scream out like "Kuria" and stuff.
Right.
And then, but no, they've got a sleep plan. Here's the 2-minute sleep plan according to the U.S. military. All right, we're not making this up. First, number 1. Here's step 1: relax your face, including your tongue, jaw, and the muscles around your eyes. All right, I'm doing that. I'm thinking about it. I guess I could do that if I had to, but right away I already feel like pressure.
Yeah.
Like, well, am I relaxing it enough?
I'm thinking of a drill sergeant screaming, "Relax your face."
Yeah, it's going to be a little tough to do.
The spit from his face is hitting yours.
Number 2, drop your shoulders as low as they can go.
All right.
I'm already feeling it. Yeah, then relax your arms.
That's bad posture. Mom would have an issue with that.
Relax your arms one at a time. I guess assuming you're laying on your back, if you're already laying down when you're doing this, because on your side, this is going to be a little tough.
Sounds like a meditation app.
Breathe out and relax. Well, hang on. If it's an app, then I have to do it like this. Breathe out and relax your chest. Breathe out and relax your chest is number 3. And then number 4, relax your legs, starting with your thighs and then your milky white calves. Oh, it didn't say milky white. I'm sorry.
Smooth
I
and
added
hairless.
that. Consider a straight razor next time for your legs. The number 5th thing is picture yourself in a calm location, like lying in a canoe. There's nothing calm about that to me.
It
Or
hurts.
under a clear blue sky.
Yeah.
Or lying in a black velvet hammock in a dark room. Their words,
Right.
not mine.
Velvet him. Okay, Hef.
I mean, it's
they're
turning into a David Lynch film, actually.
Always funny when the military tries to, kind of overreach, how to make you fall asleep in 2 minutes. Stick with the just running their asses all day.
No kidding.
That's your best option, I think.
And if you're still not asleep, repeat the phrase, don't think. Don't think.
Well.
Over and over again in your head.
Yeah, they yell that at you all day long. Don't think. We'll do the thinking for you. Well, if it works as well as every other military piece of advice that I received, take some edibles.
There's only 2 things from South Dakota, steers and queers. Now, where's your black velvet hammock?
I'm a queer, sir.
It's a strange one.
Yeah.
And they say it might not work at first, but the military found that when people keep at it for 6 weeks, it has a 96% success rate.
6 weeks?
You can do anything for 6 weeks if you keep at it, and the Pavlovian, it'll put you to sleep. If you fall asleep eventually, it'll turn into that. You could literally, you could tell me that tap dancing and reciting Gregory Hines lines of dialogue from that movie with Billy Crystal would help.
Yeah.
And I'd eventually,
Running scared.
Well, thank you. Eventually,
Yes.
it would put me to sleep.
I mean, they start with just right off the top, put your phone down at night. I don't even get through that one. So just take all your advice and cram it. I'm just going to, I don't know, go with booze, I guess.
Yeah.
That seems to do the trick.
Booze or
Grandpa's
rubbing one out usually works.
Yes, rubbing one out with booze. Yeah, that does. You're right.
It's the reason those bottles are so smooth.
Yeah.
I had good luck this past year. I was traveling in a hotel. They had an alarm clock that it shows the time on the ceiling. It like flat. It's the light is. What am I trying to say? It projects upward.
Yeah.
A nice soft blue. Oh, it's 1:17 a.m. You look up. You don't have to turn your head. You just look at the ceiling, and there it is.
Yeah.
And so I got home and ordered one for like $9, and it's been great because if I do wake up, my first thought is, what time is it? And you go grab your phone. The second that light from your phone hits you, whether you notice or not, they say your brain starts to, it's like the mice smell cheese. Your brain starts to work a little harder. But no, the soft blue light on the ceiling has been helpful, keeping me asleep anyway.
I like that idea right up until about 15 minutes before the alarm goes off, because then if I see the light, I'm not going back to sleep.
Oh, no. If I'm within, I have like a 30-minute range. If I'm within 30 minutes, I'm immediately like, oh, screw it. I'll just get up.
When I wake up, because I can't see the time either, I just usually ask my phone what time it is. But then I don't want to know. If I got 3 minutes till the alarm goes off, I like to think I have about 4 hours. I might get 60 more seconds of sleep.
There is a study in England, speaking of not so much sleep, but more work productivity. And this is something that I think is very important. The theory is there is one thing you can do that can help to make you more creative, more productive, and even a little more focused at work. And that is taking small doses of LSD.
Well, now see...
Okay.
Then again, we're back to the military. Didn't they introduce this to us? LSD. They were experimenting on soldiers back in the day with LSD.
I do believe so.
Yeah. All right.
The military, the CIA, all the cool people were tripping balls in the 50s.
Long before we were.
I love the story that the guy who invented it accidentally dosed himself.
Yeah.
The Swiss chemist had he had a few days in the lab, unlike any other.
Yeah.
I will say I don't think I would fare well on the air on LSD. I think if I were doing this show, even with a little bit of LSD, I would think I was doing great. I know that much.
Yeah.
I would feel more creative, more productive, and yes, more focused. I would be real afraid to go back and listen.
Yeah.
Because, by the way, I have recorded myself talking while under the influence of LSD.
Oh, there you go.
Because I have a lot of great ideas, is what I would tell myself. Man, I connected a lot of secrets of the universe and literally getting to the crux of why am I the way I am and what can I do to become a more productive, efficient, and better member of society. And then I listened when I finally remembered to do that later, and it was just what you would call mumbledy-gook.
Right.
This is all you heard.
That's brilliant.
You know what it was? You know what it really was? It was a lot of, and it was in the thing, and like you just, and you, you know what I mean?
Yes.
That's exactly what it sounded like.
Sounds like segment. Well, next time, bring it on the show. Don't hog it for yourself.
It was like
man.
bursts of laughter, like lightning that you don't expect. You're just mumbling, yeah. That's me on acid.
The old shows where they get you drunk on the air to, was a drinking and driving thing. A highway patrolman would come in and say, "This is why." Yeah, right. I've done that as well. I think we need to evolve it into the microdosing. We need to do some acid on the air.
If it's 4KQ, I can take the hit. I'll do it.
For science.
I can
for
literally
mankind.
and figuratively take the hit.
Nice.
On this day in 1972, the U.S. men's swimming team won gold at the Munich Olympics in the 4x100 relay. It was 3 dudes and Mark Spitz.
And his stash.
Yeah, Mark Spitz, that was his 7th gold medal. He became the first athlete to win 7 gold medals at a single Olympics. And he held that record until 2008 when that ne'er-do-well Michael Phelps won 8. Mark Spitz, man, that mustache, he told Eastern European swimming teams, coaches, during those Olympics, he said the mustache, they couldn't make sense of it, but somehow it helped his times when he grew the mustache. And at the World Championships a year later, he said every Eastern European swimmer had a mustache.
Here's the thing, though. He shaved after that, never won another race again the rest of his life. So I'm just saying.
Poor guy. On this day in 1993, New York Yankees pitcher Jim Abbott threw a no-hitter. Fun fact, he didn't have a right hand. Remember that? Jim Abbott, born without a right hand.
Yeah.
He would put the glove like under his
stump the ball.
Cradle it.
He threw with his left. That's
threw
right.
with his left.
Right.
Threw a no-hitter. One of the most incredible, you think you got issues? Yeah, dude doesn't have a hand and he's out there throwing no-hitters at Yankee Stadium. Chill.
Right.
Get back to work.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. You're listening to the KQ Morning Show. Steve, Zep, Tony, and Ryder on 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. Good morning. It is Wednesday, September the 4th. Fat Bottom Girls from Queen. Brian May, guitarist for Queen, just posted on Instagram yesterday. He's recovering from a minor stroke.
Oh.
He said he has, it happened about a week ago. He's regained control of his left arm. He said, yes, I can still play, but right now, the doctors say, he said, I'm okay, but I'm grounded. Not allowed to go out. I'm not allowed to drive. Not allowed to get in a plane. Not allowed to raise my heart rate too high, but all will be well.
Well, I hope he can still get around to his astrophysics. We're expecting a lot out of him.
If you're looking for what would give me a stroke, it's trying to understand what the hell he's talking about when he goes into that astrophysics stuff. My brain would literally go, no, you're done.
Yeah, I watched a YouTube video where he was just talking nothing having to do with rock. He wasn't Brian May, the rock god.
No.
He was Brian May, the astrophysicist. I thought, well, this should be interesting, but he didn't dumb it down for me. And I got about 10 seconds in and went, oh, you mean astrophysics. I was thinking, don't stop me now,
I was waiting for an Astro from the Jetsons reference. It never came.
No.
Yeah, he's a pretty sharp fella, that Brian May. What are you going to do? In Japan, there is something new I want to get your thoughts on. There are several companies, in fact, who have a pretty specific purpose. They're all quite successful. You decide, I need to quit my job. You call this company and tell them, and they take over and do it for you. They call your employer They announce that you will be leaving.
Yeah.
They will handle all the details. It's basically they're like your departure agent. They will discuss what your last day will be, all the protocols, and if you have to return company-owned equipment, whatever might ever come up, you are out of the process. They handle all of the back and forth with the employer for you.
They'll clean out the cubicle.
I do believe they will do that.
Right.
Say you've got a laptop that the company owns. Say you've got a uniform, anything like that at all. Now it makes sense to me, and this is something I've been to Japan several times, and I know literally barely scratching the surface of Japanese culture because it's wildly different from ours.
We watched Shogun.
But boy, didn't we? Wasn't that fantastic?
Yeah, that was good.
Well, then you know who's standing at the end of Shogun? The guy who avoids confrontation at all costs.
Right.
That is something you don't get a lot of in-your-face screaming, shouting matches in Japan.
Sounds nice.
Confrontation is not something people look for.
You don't get much of that in the Midwest either, unless they're in their vehicles.
Well, that's very true. That's very true. This is something people are only paying a couple $300 for, but they call in, they take care of it. Your hands are clean. I guess you then will return to work until your final day, but you haven't gone through that awkward, hey man, I'm out of here because you suck, or I got a better offer, or anything. You just show up at work until this company has negotiated your final day.
Listen, it's not you, it's me. I always thought quitting, and I didn't get a lot of opportunities because I wanted to quit jobs, but I was the guy that would just sit around and be bitchy and complacent until they fired me.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, you're firing me? But there are one or two jobs that I did quit I found very satisfying. I mean, it was a kind of a nice touch. I wouldn't want to pay someone to rob me of that.
I could see. I would just want to make sure that they have all the details down. Like I could imagine this being the conversation. Hey, I'm Steve with Executive Departure Services, and I'm calling to let you know that Barry is going to move on. And everybody at KQ is like, who the hell's Barry? I'm sorry. Oh no, I'm sorry, Brian. Brian. Sorry. Let me start over. Brian has decided to move on. I mean, I don't know. I like to cross my own T's and dot my own I's in life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You got to make sure these people are on the ball.
Well, it turns out when you leave here, there isn't a lot of negotiation. It turns out there's not a lot of back and forth.
Okay.
It's just...
and you know that.
Get the hell out.
So you have been shown the door.
Oh, I have been shown the door here. You just have to sign a piece of paper saying you won't say anything bad about the company on social media.
Okay.
And then they give you your last paycheck.
Man, think about all those decades and centuries before social media when the last thing an employer had to think about is, I hope this guy doesn't tweet about me.
Yeah, no.
You just never even thought about it. You're like, they're just going to go back out into the wide morass of other people, and no one's ever going to hear a word from them.
Down to their local dive bar to do a little bitch into the other barflies. They can't hold a job either. But now social media, nobody wants a bad review.
My favorite thing, I shouldn't say my favorite thing. I just, referencing Japanese culture, first of all, the worst meal I ever had there was incredible.
Yeah.
Okay, just like it. You walk into like what looks like a 7-Eleven, and the sushi on the counter is better than anything you've ever had in this country.
You can get gas station sushi in Japan.
Yes, you can, and it's good.
All right.
But no, there's a festival in Japan called the Nakisumo Misturi, and this is what it is. It's basically loudest crying baby festival, but it's not just that. Two sumo wrestlers walk into a ring holding a baby. They are full on in sumo. This is not a joke.
All right.
The referee then puts on scary masks and tries to get the babies to cry, and the loudest and longest crier is the winner. It's a 400-year-old tradition.
Well, you talk about non-confrontational society.
Yeah.
However, they've got these wacky game shows where it's about hurting people, hurting each other, and then these sorts of things. How long can we make a baby cry?
The game show scene in Japan is beyond anything we could ever make up or imagine possible.
Right,
Yes.
Squid Game-ish.
Yeah, what was the game? Fear Factor was the game here where people lay down in a vat of crickets or whatever. That's just like an appetizer compared to what some of these game shows in Japan are doing. As far as quitting jobs go, I don't think I've ever had the whole I quit, like an actual dramatic moment leaving a gig.
Yeah.
I mean, I've had the whole like as I was about to be fired, quit. I guess maybe I don't remember. I never had like a spectacular. Oh, that'd be a great scene in a movie. Quitting a job before. All pretty much. Kind of low. Just all right, I'm out.
Yeah, it's kind of a fantasy. I think a lot of people are probably working through right now on their way to work. How would I quit if I was going to quit, man? It would be spectacular. The only time, and I remember finding out what the word severance meant. I'd never heard the word severance, but there was a radio job that I got fired from, and I went, I quit. He goes, no, listen, Brian. I go, no, seriously, I quit. Before you get a chance to fire me, I quit. And he said, don't do that. And I said, why not? He said, because then you won't get severance. I'm like, what's that? He goes, an extra 2 weeks of pay when you get fired, not when you quit. And I went, I'm sorry, you were saying? Yeah, you're fired. Oh, no.
Darn
you
good luck.
me?
Well, I had a funny moment in the summer of 1999. It was actually on my birthday. I had planned to leave. I was going to quit my own band.
Yeah.
The Black Crowes. And I called our manager to do that. I said, hey, I'm just letting you know. That's it. I didn't have to explain why. It was just, as I've said earlier on the show today, every band is a clown car. Ours was no different.
It's in the book.
The drama, the dysfunction, all that. And I was like, you know what? I'm out. And I called our manager, Pete, to say, hey, I know there's a whole legal side to this and we got to go through the protocol and we've got all that, but I'm just letting you know, man, I'm out. And he goes, okay. And I was like, okay. I mean, he knew where I was coming from, but I didn't expect him to be so blasé about it. And he said, okay, is that it? And I'm like, well, yeah. He goes, oh, well, I was just going to tell you, hey, I just got off the phone with Jimmy Page's manager. He actually wants to tour. So, okay, you want to call me back in 5 minutes? And he's laughing. And he just said, call me back. And he hung up on me. And Rosemary looked at me. She goes, what, that's it? And I go, Jimmy wants to tour.
Yeah.
And she looked at me and goes, oh my God. And I truly said, just when I think I'm out, they pull me back in. I went right to Godfather 3. And then I called him back and unquit. Actually, I called him back and acted as if the first phone call hadn't happened.
Hey, man, what's up?
I said, hey. And he goes, hey, what's up? I go, nothing. Any news? He goes, yeah, Jimmy was touring. I said, great. Awesome. When? He goes, probably October. I go, man, that'll be great. I'm going to go start rehearsing all those Zeppelin songs.
Yeah.
Whew. Man.
Oh, I mean, that's a good manager right there.
By the hair of me chinny chin chin. Had a little fun playing some Zeppelin songs right there. But REO Speedwagon's bassist Bruce Hall is in a situation where he might be thinking of leaving the band. He's been there since 1977.
Yeah.
He had surgery on his back last November and was told this is going to take a while to rehab and recovery. The band is on the road this summer. They're on tour with Train, and Elton John's bassist has been filling in for REO Speedwagon because their bassist, Bruce Hall, again, is recovering from back surgery. In June, he wrote an update on Facebook, and he said, it was my intention to be back on the road again for sure. I'm feeling better every day, and I've been cleared by my doctor to perform. If it were up to me, I'd be there, but it's unfortunately not. Here's the quote. The consensus feeling is that I don't have good enough posture to perform at the level expected by our fans.
Yeah, that's straight upright bass player. That's classic. What sort of posture are we talking about here? I mean, real hunchback stuff?
I was expecting to see him doing like some Cirque du Soleil, suspended by the ankles, spinning around. No, as far as I can tell, he just stands there and plays bass like most bass players.
What if they put him in one of those things that hang you upside down and let him play bass?
It might help.
Innovative, I think.
It might straighten out that whole back thing.
Yeah.
I'm just blown away. I've heard all kinds of reasons for bands to make lineup changes. Again, for the billionth time, you get yourself into a clown car, you might be shown the door in a clownish way. This is my favorite one ever.
It's ludicrous because the band is so damn old now. I mean, what do they think? He's going to make them look geriatric up there with his bad back?
They're worried about that he doesn't. I guess so. I guess that's what it is.
Pulling off the rock god thing.
It's like the photographer who, the guy says, hey, does this shirt make me look fat? No, your fat makes you look fat. No, you look old. You know why you look old? Because you guys are all pushing 80. That's old. And you're still able to play. Go with God. What is the problem?
Yeah,
man. I mean, I side with the guys in these situations almost always because that's just, it seems crazy. But at the same time, Bruce, don't you want to go fishing or something? Maybe.
Right. How's that go? You can tune a fish, but you can't do it.
Man, something. Dude, just, how long do you want to hang around people that don't want you around? That's my question.
Right. You want to force your way back on the stage. Yeah?
At some point, you might want to get out there. Hey, Anoka, what's up? Anoka, Minnesota. We had a little hang in Anoka a few months ago.
Yeah.
It kicked off our summer in style. It was a blast. What a great little town. Halloween capital of Minnesota.
Of
the world, mister.
Well, I you know what? Honestly, I just
Forget
I
Transylvania.
know that's true. No, I have a friend who listens occasionally from Salem, Massachusetts, and he'll text me if I say that.
That's a witch thing. That's a witch thing.
I know. But Anoka, we had a blast, and I know that there's we met a bunch of great folks up there, and I know that some of you are listening to the show, so I just wanted to say good morning.
Yeah.
There you have it. What else have we got? Oh, gosh, I don't know. How about rush hour? If you're out in rush hour right now, you're probably thinking, man, maybe if I wait a little longer, it'll be the traffic will ease up.
Right.
Well, we have news for you in that regard. Hang tight.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
Let's talk about rush hour. Fewer and fewer people apparently commute around 9 a.m. and 5 p.m. That's because, if there is a silver lining to the last few years, COVID and the pandemic, it's that a lot of we got a lot of more flexibility. A lot of people who would get up and run into work worked from home, and companies are still adjusting and still evolving into the new realm. One of the silver linings that's not so silver about that is now rush hour is kind of an all-day event. It used to be, 9 a.m., 5 p.m., stay off the road if you don't have to. But now they call it the midday rush hour. And in some cities, it's a small rush hour that just starts around 7 a.m. and goes until 7 p.m.
Yeah.
Because everybody's got their own schedule, but everyone's got to still go somewhere. And so now you just, instead of having a couple times a day where it's really bad, now it just kind of sucks all day long.
Yep, that's been my experience here. It seems like that's been going on for a lot of years. I mean, 494 has always sucked.
Yeah.
You go out at 3 o'clock in the morning and somehow there's a little traffic squall on 494. How? Why? What's going on? Where are you people going? Don't you people have lives? I don't.
Yeah.
That's why I'm out at 3 o'clock in the morning. Go home. But it's traffic is pretty constant around the metro. I mean, we're here in Dinkytown. So if you go anywhere, you've got to go out to one of the 35s or 394, something that ends in a 4.
Yep.
And there's always a crap ton of traffic.
Always. If I'm out on the west side of town and I'm coming back in towards town, where 394 and the 94 split, I've never not seen that almost come to a stop. It's always packed there.
It's
Same thing.
constant.
Man, what is happening here?
10:30 in the morning, I'll boogie on out of here. So I've got to do 35, 94, 394. I got to hit all three of those gems. And then finally ending on Highway 100. Same deal, a lot of traffic. I'm like, everyone in morning radio around here? What are you people doing?
Not quite
Come on,
sure.
get out of my way.
I used to say I never had to like when I for just a couple of years, and this is over 20 years ago, we lived in Los Angeles, and people say, the traffic. I was like, but I don't have a regular job. I'm not up and I don't have to be out in it. And then at some point you realize, it doesn't really matter. It's like anywhere else in the world. It's unlike anywhere else in the world because you're still in a lot of traffic. You're just not in the worst traffic imaginable. So then I left there and felt pretty good about it. But I have been surprised here at how often I find myself going very, very slowly at like 2 p.m. or 11 a.m. And I'm like, man, there's a lot of highways. A lot of off ramps, a lot of on ramps. The paving companies certainly got their fair share of the revenues in the Twin Cities, as I've learned my way around on the many highways. But man, is there a lot of traffic.
A friend of mine was a working man in L.A. and his commute was 2 hours each way.
2 hours
to work,
each
2
way.
hours, 2 hours home.
Probably live like 10 miles
every
from the
day.
job site. Too.
Yeah, not even that far.
Could have been, yeah.
Just sitting in it. Well, I mean, it's good for radio. We love a captive audience. But that, I think, and around here, a lot of people will tell you that the population in the metro has outgrown the roads.
Sure.
I mean, you've got now 35. True. They did finally expand that a couple of lanes. But you go to metros that are smaller than the Minneapolis-St. Paul metro area, and there'll be like 7 roads. Well, I mean, 7 lanes on each side. So it didn't really expand like it should have. But, I don't know. What are you going to do? Stay at home. Let us work remotely.
Consumer Reports has a list of the number one complaint of drivers about other drivers.
Yeah.
Not surprisingly, texting on a cell phone while driving is number one on the list when you see someone else doing that. And I've said this for years. If you're going to text while you're driving, don't, because you're nowhere near as good at that as I am.
Yeah,
so don't think for 1 second you can multitask. I can, you can't.
Yeah, a lot of people don't do the old 2 letters. You get 2 letters in, 1, 2 letter. Now you look up 2 more letters.
Yeah.
But all joking aside, let's put it this way: why don't you just slam a bottle of whiskey before you go to work? Because now in America, more people are killed with distracted driving on cell phones than drunk driving, which has been in the news recently. Think about that. Think about that scumbag, and then think about texting on your way to work this morning. I'm sorry, I hate to be harsh about it, but
it should be.
I just about took somebody out texting one day on the aforementioned 494. I thought, what the hell am I doing? Is that how I'm going to kill someone? Texting whatever some unimportant text that I had. The phone goes in the center console. Don't try and call me. I'm not calling out on the few minutes I spend behind the wheel each morning. It's just not worth it.
I'll make calls. I have no problem talking while I'm driving.
Hands-free calling. I'm still doing that one.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. Hands-free.
Yeah.
And I on occasion, if I'm at a red light, I will absolutely. But they have voice text. You don't have to text it in. You can hit one thing and then just talk, and then you don't have to look down again. That's a pretty crazy thing to me. To your point, I was kidding when I said you can't do it as well as I can. And
right. Well,
but I did the same thing. I got busted enough times by my wife and kids. They'd be like, "Dad, stop!" And I'm like, what am I doing here?
Yeah,
this
right.
is nuts. Tailgaters is also a big problem. I got a problem with tailgaters.
Yeah,
I'm not afraid to just lay on the brakes. I don't slam the brakes, but I make sure my brake lights are on. Just tap, just tiny, a light touch on the brakes, and then eventually that person. I truly enjoy looking in my rearview mirror and seeing the person behind me gesturing at me angrily. That makes me feel good.
Slowing down to about 10 miles an hour out there. Does it make you uncomfortable when you're riding with someone who's tailgating? Will you say something?
Oh, I will absolutely say something.
I often ride with somebody who just gets right up on them. Now, if it's the kids, one of my daughters, I'm like, hey, I go all dad on them. Otherwise, I try to give them a little space, but I'm like, really?
No, I'm bad about it. I probably should bite my tongue more, but I'll absolutely say something about someone I'm riding with if they're doing something I don't like. I'm like, and more often than not, I just want to make sure they know. It's like, okay, if this is your vibe, okay, but you're doing this, right? That whole thing. Like, do you always need that much space to make a left turn?
Yeah.
Just so you know, you could probably do it a little tighter.
Yeah, that's saving yourself maybe a minute out of your day, and I believe everyone has a minute to kill.
Yeah,
to give.
I'm still amazed. So we had friends in over the weekend, ran them back to the airport, and as we were approaching Terminal 1. There's some construction out there. It really backs up a little bit. It got pretty slow. And then all the people who are going around and trying to beat the line but merge a little farther up. See, that never bothers me. The whole zipper idea, it's like, no, pick your space, get in there. Because if everybody just stops as soon as they see traffic stopping, it actually takes longer to get everybody in. It's like, no, we should zipper this. You go, then I'll go. You go, then I'll go. And I still watch people all the time who refuse to let someone get in front of them.
Oh, I hate that so much.
And it drives me crazy. It's like, that's my biggest beef. More than tailgating, more than anything. I'm like, because I just can't believe you think this road is yours.
Right.
I mean, I get a little solace in the fact that I know that they're not doing that to just be in front of me, because there's no psychologically sane way that you can go, if that car gets ahead of me, it's not a race.
Yeah.
There's nowhere you're going that's so important that you have to be there 1 second faster than someone else. So the reason you're doing it is you don't like yourself.
Yeah.
You're unhappy. Happy people don't do that. We just go, oh, all right, your turn, my turn, your turn, my turn. That's what happy people do. People that are pissed off about their marriage, their job, their kids don't respect them anymore, that just want to drive into a damn bridge abutment. Those are the people that are doing that. And I just think to myself, well, you poor bastard. please get up there, go faster, get home to that wife you don't want to see anymore just a little quicker.
They won't keep any eye contact with you either, too. When they take over, they'll just keep going, look straight ahead. Mine!
Yes.
Mine!
Yeah, you don't get that courtesy wave, and that's always a bummer.
Yeah, right?
Right.
There is, I would hope, at least one person on their way right now in all-day rush hour, driving to work, and they're just like, I think Brian Zepp just nailed me. That's me. Oh, shh.
Yeah, right.
What does it say about me that Brian Zepp has just analyzed me perfectly? I'm going to make changes in my life. You just saved someone's life, probably.
Did I? Yeah, if it makes you feel any better, in about 3 hours, I'll be tooling back to Golden Valley going, get out of my way!
Of course.
You're not going to cut me off, you son of a bitch.
Also on this list, something we all, and by we, I mean we here at KQ, have to concern ourselves with, and that's jaywalking, or as I call it, college freshmen who don't know how crosswalks work.
I mean...
Man, every morning on the way to work, at before the sun's up, it's great. Every morning leaving work, I feel like I'm playing Frogger, but I'm one of the cars.
Right.
It's terrifying that I'm going to run over some poor college kid because they have no idea how to walk, not look at their phone, and pay attention to a traffic light.
There's so many of them. We have them
It's
to
incredible.
give. One less college kid. Might make the planet a better place to live. I don't know. But same thing, like I said, I tell the story of trying to turn onto 4th up here, and someone was crossing the street on their phone and then stopped in the middle of the intersection to finish their, text or tweet or whatever they were doing. So I gave them the old courtesy tap. Didn't lay on the horn, just a beep. One of those, and she dropped her phone. Yeah. Did that and then looked at me like I had assaulted her and ran off. I'm like, what are you doing stopping in the... Yeah, college kids, they're a different breed of animal, aren't they?
The NFL season starts tomorrow night. Now, Zepp, you're Pittsburgh Steelers. Everybody knows you are a Pittsburgh Steelers guy.
Yeah.
They're not playing tomorrow night. We got the Chiefs and the Ravens, but they will play this Sunday. If I said, okay, now, if you go to see a Steelers game, and a lot of people may not know this, they always play Renegade by Styx at Heinz Field.
Yeah, they do like that one.
It's just it's a tradition. Like they play...
Acrisure, I believe, now.
Oh, that's it. It's not Heinz Field anymore.
It's Three Rivers.
The stadium formerly known as Heinz Field. They play Styx Renegade for some reason. I don't know what the tradition is, but that's there. But that said, if you had a song for this season, based on your feelings for the upcoming season with the Steelers, put a theme song. Wrap it with music. I mean, if you need to take a minute with this, feel free. But I'm just curious.
Russell Wilson under center for the Pittsburgh Steelers this year, going in a completely different direction for them. Historically, I would say. How about Fade to Black by Metallica?
Okay. It's a perfect thank
work?
you. That's
All
perfect.
Right.
That's absolutely
like
perfect.
The left side of their helmet, fade to black.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. I would love to know what Vikings fans are thinking about right now. Yeah. Can you put one song around your thoughts for your team's season? If you can, feel free to share that with us on the KQ Talk and text line 651-989-ROCK. You can text or call, but it's often good. Can you summarize all of the thoughts and emotions you have as we approach the most wonderful time of year, football season? Can you put it all around one song? I like Fade to Black. That's a good one.
All right.
Yeah. I almost feel like I'd be getting over my skis to put a Vikings song forward because I'm only a year and a half into that's my NFC team. I like the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah.
But I'll give it some thought myself. But I'm sure there's some folks who've got some pretty good ideas already.
Love to hear them.
If you got any, Tony, as a long-suffering Vikings fan. Is it? I'm curious. Does a song title come to mind that you could wrap around this upcoming season?
For this season, I think I might have to go with "Close to You" by the Carpenters. I just want to give Darnold a big hug, let him know that.
There you go.
Give it a go.
I got a feeling he's going to need one, maybe.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I am, as I've mentioned many times, I'm a Tennessee Titans fan, which is to say, I moved there and I had a little kid, and I was like, let's cheer for the local team. And 20 years later, he still looks at me and goes, "Why? Why did you do this to me?" I just said to Zepp during the break, the Titans, like the local media down there, they're convincing themselves it's an exciting time, but we got rid of a great coach and we have a quarterback that's unproven and a whole bunch. And I'm just like, so I would just say, like, magic carpet ride. You guys are kidding yourselves. Yeah. We're just gonna get destroyed. We got to play C.J. Stroud twice. What are you excited about? Shut up.
Yeah.
Anyway, but Vikings fans, I would love to hear from you. Hit us up with a text, 651-989-ROCK. Let us know. The question of the day really, though, is, are there any Detroit Lions fans in the area? Do we know anyone that's a Lions fan? Because the national consensus is that this is the team for the NFC for the season. If there was ever a time for the NFC North rival Detroit Lions to cash in their chip, apparently it's this season. Ryder, you must be feeling great.
I'm so freaked out right now. The great thing about the Lions is always there's no expectations. You know, you can never be disappointed. You could only be pleasantly surprised. And they're dumping all these expectations on us, and I am just about to have a nervous breakdown.
Yeah, well, just remember that Lombardi trophy for the Lions goes through U.S. Bank Stadium. You just remember that right there. They want that bad boy.
Boy. Where the texts are already loading in. Viking Seasons, Radiohead song, Creep.
Oh, I
That's
like
the
that.
first text I see. Another one, Bites the Dust, of course. Vex by Beck, the song Loser. Wow, Vikings fans. Man. Sorry
Here's one
about
from
that,
Brad. The message again, with or without you. I'm not sure what that means, but I get it.
All right, I can see it. I can see it coming in. Fair enough. I don't know about you guys, but I have plans for Friday night. I'm going to be going to Somerset.
Attaboy.
Oh,
I'm
nice.
going to be checking
You
out the
outlaw.
Outlaw Music Festival. I wonder if anybody else cares to join me. Hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. It's the KQ Morning Show. Steve, Zepp, Tony, and Ryder on Minnesota's classic rock. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. Speaking of Brian Zepp's Pittsburgh Steelers, there's that renegade from Styx.
I know.
That'll get you in the mood for some football action. If you're in the mood for some outlaw music festival action, Friday night at Somerset Amphitheater, Willie Nelson, Bob Dylan, and John Mellencamp. Why don't you call us right now? We're going to play for some tickets. 651-989-ROCK. Callers 9 and 2 at 651-989-ROCK. You will play a game. One of you will win tickets to see the Outlaw Music Festival.
All right.
Yeehaw.
I'm looking very forward to it. We're going to head out and see that. You know what I like is a lot of the songs written by John Mellencamp, Bob Dylan, and Willie Nelson. So go figure. Probably going to enjoy ourselves on Friday night. That is going to be pretty great. What else have we got going on today? Let's see. Oh, that's right. We were talking about the pending football season, and I asked if anybody had one song they could attach to their team's season, either your hopes or your fears or whatever is on your mind. When you think of your team, and I know most of the folks listening are Vikings fans or Packers fans, what song comes to mind? And the KQ Talking text line, there's a lot of good ones. Here's a stick song for the Vikings, although it's not the one we just heard. This would be The Grand Illusion.
Oh, I was going there. I knew it.
Another one, Living on a Prayer. Heartbreaker.
Oh,
wow.
yeah.
Mike Heartbreaker came in with that one. Song for the Vikings this year. This is in from a listener. The Temptations, I Wish It Would Rain. Wow.
Right.
That's a good one. We do have one wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald for the Vikings. Okay. That's from Matt. That's a good one.
Yeah, I like, Mike, Dancing in the Dark.
Oh, boy.
All right, that's not bad.
Ah, boy. Yeah, there's going to be...
Crazy Train I see on here. That's not bad.
Oh, my gosh. Vikings, here Jimmy wrote in, from the Birds, You Ain't Going Nowhere.
And Don't Give Up by Peter Gabriel. Come on now.
Man.
Don't give up. Come on, put the good foot forward here. We're undefeated.
Oh, here's one. I'm 64 years old, and the Vikings are 0-63 in terms of, rings.
Yeah.
I think in the year 25-25 by Zager and Evans might work this year. That's
All right.
great. Oh, man. Even the Losers for the Vikings by Tom Petty. Yeah, you sense
Get
a
lucky
theme.
sometimes.
Is there a theme going on around here?
Well, I mean, it's hard to feel optimistic about, a quarterback that's been discarded from several other teams. We went through that last year, didn't we? So, I mean, everybody remembers that and somehow managed, by the way, to eke out a playoff appearance. Mm-hmm. And, hey, when Cousins started the season, remember Kirk Cousins now is being thought of as a I don't know, one of the all-time greats in Minnesota. Remember the Kirk Cousin years? Never won a damn thing, by the way, that meant anything. But wasn't he 0-4 to start last season or something like that?
He, you know what? It feels like 10 years ago already.
Yeah, right, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's right. It was all the turnovers, just plagued with crazy turnovers.
Right. Every week.
Yeah,
Every week
start,
it was just absolutely insane. The old Met Stadium, that was down in Bloomington, was it not?
Yes,
sir.
Well, good morning, Bloomington. Just want to say a quick shout out. We're thinking of you. I know you probably wish you still had the stadium down there.
Well,
Our friends in Bloomington.
Yeah, probably, I guess. I don't know. It's they built a big old mall on it. Or is that where IKEA is now, isn't it? Isn't that IKEA where the old Met Stadium was? Or no,
Mall of America.
It is the Mall of America.
It's got the home plate is still there.
Right,
It's for like the plaque to home plate. The one random chair. Yeah.
Camp Snoopy was like where home plate
They threw a
was.
whiskey bottle at a referee.
Armin Terzian
Yes.
got clunged.
Wow. Good
Jack
pull.
Daniels
That's
bottle.
exactly right. Man, that's pretty strong right
I think
there.
it might have been a Bears fan, but there's no confirmation.
I'll go ahead and run with that. Sure it was. Hey, we've got a couple callers locked and loaded.
We do.
Very excited to play a game. Tony, what is today's game?
Well, this is going to be a fun thing for our potential winner, Willie Bob Dylan Camp. The Outlaw Music Festival tour, of course, features some big names, Willie Nelson, Bob Dylan, and John Mellencamp. For this enchanting contest, we're going to give you trivia via multiple choice, and you give us a good guess pertaining to Willie, Bob, or John. It's Willie Bob Dylan Camp.
I'm down with this.
Yes, sir.
Willie Bob Dylan Camp, we are ready to roll. Who is contestant number one?
Contestant number one is Angela from Coon Rapids.
Angela, good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing so far today?
Good, how are you?
Great, thanks. Who's your favorite band, Angela?
My favorite band, oh my gosh. Probably the Rolling Stones.
That'll work. Not a bad combo at all. Who's your favorite team? Any sport?
The Vikings.
Oh, man.
It's always apologetic.
I know.
It's always,
Did I win the tickets just for that?
You get our respect, our begrudging respect.
Thank you.
We know it's not easy. All right, we're going to play Willie Bob Dylan Camp. Best of luck to you, Angela.
Okay.
Let's go, Angela. Your first one, Willie Nelson, before becoming a successful musician, of course, had many odd jobs, including A, clerk at Sunglass Hut, B, vacuum cleaner salesman, or C, a sales rep for Crocs.
B.
That is true. Bingo. B
yes,
for
he was
bingo,
a vacuum cleaner
Angela.
salesman. Right on. Number 2, the Bob Dylan song Hurricane was A, originally the song Sugarcane about his notorious sweet tooth. B, almost used for a commercial for the instant start fireplace log, the Duraflame. Or C, instrumental in raising money for Reuben Carter's defense against his murder charges.
Say B again.
B, almost used for a commercial for the instant start fireplace log, the Duraflame. The Duraflame log.
Wait.
Yep.
I think that was her answer, yeah.
That was your answer?
She's saying that was her answer, yes.
Oh, I thought she said, can I hear B again?
Oh, no. She said, I'll go with B again.
What is it? Did you guess B?
She guesses B.
Yep.
I'm sorry, dear.
He gave you every chance in the world to take that back.
There's a song about Duraflame.
We could
itself.
have. Sorry, Angela. Yeah, every chance to recant.
Yeah.
No, that was C. Reuben Carter's Defense Fund.
Oh,
Right.
Pee Wee Herman,
Wow.
yeah. Masturbating in the movie theater. I remember that.
Yeah, sure.
Who could forget? Number 3, John Mellencamp is a survivor. When he was an infant, he had life-saving surgery for A, spina bifida from a pioneering neurosurgeon, B, removal of an extra leg, or C, the transplant of an actual baboon heart.
Oh, God. A.
Correct.
The leg,
true.
huh?
Yes.
No, he was never known as Baby Faye.
No, it was not the
Baby
baboon
Faye
heart.
did have that baboon heart.
Original rejected title of Christian Slater's movie Untamed Heart.
That's right.
Yeah, they should have kept it.
Shot right
It's a lot
here.
cooler.
Nearby, by the way.
Just down the street, a piece. Okay, your last one, number 4. Bob Dylan has studied and dabbled in both A, Christianity and Judaism, B, Satanism and Buddhism, or C, veganism and vampirism?
I'm going to go A.
All right, good call. Good job, Angela.
Are we sure it's not A, B, and C? I mean, Dylan's
right.
He's been around a while. Angela, looks like you went 3 for 4. Very well played.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. All right, sit tight. We're going to go on to contestant number 2 right now. So we'll be back to you momentarily, Angela. Tony, who we got?
Angela is followed by Angelo.
Angelo, good morning.
Hey, good morning.
Give me your favorite band, Angelo.
Oh, man, I'd have to go with the Eagles.
That'll
Take
work.
It Easy. It's got to be a top 5 song of mine, Mount Rushmore for sure.
Beautiful. Favorite team, any sport?
Oh, man, I like the Raiders, and that's okay because without the Vikings, we wouldn't have a Super Bowl, so it works out.
Wow. Okay,
Good
fair
point.
enough.
Damn you.
Eagles and Raiders. All right, we're playing, I've already forgot, Willie Bob Dylan Camp. Good luck, sir.
All right, Angelo. Number 1, John Mellencamp has been A, arrested for shoplifting 2 times, B, married 3 times, C, immortalized in State Fair butter sculpture 13 times.
Oh, man, John Mellencamp. I'll go with B.
True, married 3 times. Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Likes
man.
the blondes.
Number 2, Willie Nelson actually ran into a burning house to A, rescue some trapped dachshund puppies, B, quickly and efficiently make perfect s'mores, or C, save his big stash of weed.
Oh, I mean, it goes without saying. It's got to be the weed.
That's right.
Big
Good. He saved the weed, not the doxy pupsies.
Probably what started the fire.
Yeah,
The
you're
blonde
right.
tipped over.
Tony was so
Probably
excited
the
to say dachshund puppies.
I know.
Doxy, stop, save, stop, you sweet little wiener dog.
Who's your good doxy puppy? Number 3, Bob Dylan has a few hobbies. One of them is A, restoring old cars, B, playing Dungeons and Dragons with the roadies, or C, yodeling.
Oh, man, I feel like he naturally yodels just by talking, so I'm going to go with B again.
No, I'm sorry, incorrect. He likes to restore old cars, not play Dungeons and Dragons. Bob.
Hey, I can interject a quick fun fact.
Sure.
Not about dachshund puppies, but Bob Dylan in 2001, we were on the bill of a few festivals alongside Bob Dylan and his band at that year.
Yeah.
And he traveled, and he had his own bus. His band had their bus. And on Bob Dylan's bus, he was accompanied by not 1, not 2, but 3 Irish wolfhounds.
Oh, wow. They're beautiful, gigantic
Each one like
hounds.
140 pounds.
you know.
3 of them.
Oh, wow.
His kink is his business.
Yeah. All right, Angelo, you're 2 for 3. You got to get this one to head into a tiebreaker, sir.
Here's your last one, Angelo. A big hit for Willie Nelson, On the Road Again, was written A, in Egyptian hieroglyphics so it wouldn't be stolen, B, with a Sharpie on the back of a railroad hobo, or C, on a vomit bag while on an airplane.
Ooh. I'm going to eliminate the hieroglyphics. I got the vomit on the airplane. What was the second option?
It was written with a Sharpie on the back of a railroad hobo.
Oh. It's got to be a vomit bag.
It's got to be a vomit bag. That's a good
Yeah.
T-shirt.
As much as we all wanted to go hobo, we had to go vomit bag.
So it wasn't written on the road again?
I guess not.
It's all a bunch of bullshit, I
In
guess.
the sky again.
Yeah.
Angelo, that's 3 for 4, brother, which means you have tied Angela. So now we've got a tiebreaker question for the 2 of you. Tony will ask a question. We'll get Angela to answer first, and then we'll get Angelo to answer. And whoever's closest to the correct answer wins the Outlaw Festival tickets. Good luck to you both.
Angelo, I ask you, how many dimples are there on a regulation golf ball? How many little dimples?
Oh, my God. I'm going to say 24.
24. All right.
Angelo, how many do you think?
I got completely cut out when I was being told the overtime rules, which I can only assume is a tiebreaker question.
Yes. How many dimples do you have?
No, the question is, Tony?
How many dimples are there on a regulation golf ball? How many dimples?
Oh, man. 136.
That's very similar to Angela's answer.
Angela has 24. Angelo says 136. I'm going to say Angelo is going to take this one. I'm just going to go ahead and throw that out there. Tony?
The correct number of dimples is 336 dimples.
Wow.
That's what it was. I knew the 36 part.
Yeah,
you
right.
did.
You were so close. I mean.
All right, Angelo.
Awesome.
You, sir, because you got 136, you got tickets. Hey, Angela, great effort. You're not going home empty-handed. We've got a 4-pack of tickets to the Heydays Grass Drags this Saturday and Sunday up in North Branch. Angelo, congratulations, sir. You got 2 for the Outlaw Music Fest. Willie, Bob, and John. Have a great time, and thank you for playing.
Wow, thank you. Good job, Angelo.
Yeah.
For the consolation prize.
Yeah, thanks so much, both of you guys. Kind of like, what was the old, wasn't there a movie of Victor Victoria?
Mm-hmm.
We just had our own little Angelo.
Right.
That was fun. I like that.
It's a nice surprise.
Yeah, it was a nice surprise. This is not a surprise at all, but it's also fun, and that's that KQ Up North is going down October 3rd through the 6th at Cragen's Resort on Gull Lake. Karaoke party, dinner cruise, all kinds of fun stuff we're going to be doing. Book your stay right now. Go to 92kqrs.com. That is, of course, sponsored by our friends at Hoffman Weber Construction and Cragen's Resort on Gull Lake.
Connect with us on the KQ Talk and Text line. 651-989-ROCK. That's 651-989-ROCK. 92 KQRS.
I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show. It is September the 4th, and right now, Rudy Pavich is in studio with us. Rudy, good morning, sir.
Hi, what's up, man? Good to see you.
I'm happy to see you, my brother. You're at the Comedy Corner Underground, Friday, September 13th and the 14th. I don't even know where to start. We were just talking as we were listening to Kansas. Mm-hmm. I didn't know this. You are the president of the Kansas fan club. Go figure.
Obviously, man.
I mean, it's just been your band from day one.
Yeah, it's like Prison Break with the tattoos, except for mine is Dust in the Wind.
Isn't that nice?
Yeah, I have a whole suit of Dust in the Wind lyrics. So
that's a beautiful thing. It's important to never forget where you're coming from and who you really are.
Absolutely. Yeah.
No, that's great. Speaking of classic bands, I want to get your thoughts on this. The band REO Speedwagon. You're familiar with them.
Love REO.
Okay, well, their bass player, who's been with them since 1977, had back surgery last fall, and so they had a fill-in bass player for a while. His doctor has given him the all-clear to come back. He wants to come back, but the band says he's not able to stand up straight. He doesn't have the posture in order to perform to the ability that their fans expect.
Really?
They're struggling to have him return because they don't feel like he can. They don't like his posture.
Yeah.
And I just thought that's one of those times when I know you have to think, thank God I'm a comedian and I'm not in a band.
Yeah, well, for the longest time in the 90s, everybody had osteoporosis. I don't know. Do you remember like when everybody was just like dun, 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 and they were all hunched over?
A lot of hunching.
Yeah, a lot of hunching in the 90s and early 2000s. Yeah. But I feel like, man, like my family went and saw Three Dog Night a couple of months ago. They were playing the State Theater, I think it was. And they basically said they got, moving dollies to get those guys out there.
Sure.
And I think our expectations of people that have been in this business now for a long time need to really come down, okay? If you can make it on stage and still play your instrument, good enough for me. Yeah.
Willie Nelson's playing Friday night in Somerset. He's 90. I don't think anyone's worried about his posture.
No, not at all. No, not at all.
Get on stage and do what you do. That's what I say.
Yeah.
And plus this bass player in REO Speedwagon, he's got great hair. I mean, just looks like Gandalf up there.
Yeah.
Get the guy back out there.
Yeah, and if he's still able to do it, I mean, at some point, I think the audience is like, if you were to just take one of those Ronald McDonald statues, like the ones where it's just like Ronald with his arm out at a bench instead of McDonald's. You can get
Sure.
You can look like that. And I think your audience is just going, as long as you're the original members. For how much I love Leonard Skinner, there is not another.
Not one.
Why do I want to go see a cover band? No, I want to see original members. So regardless of what they look like, I don't know. I saw, who was it the other day? Trying to think. There was somebody I saw the other day where obviously they do not look anything like they did when they were in the 60s.
The Jackson 5.
Sure.
Bay City Rollers.
Yeah, Bay City. Yeah, you're right. I'm trying to think of the name. It was a big thing. Wayne's World. Oh, Frampton. Peter Frampton.
Peter Frampton.
I saw Peter Frampton the other day, and I thought Peter Frampton does not look like Peter Frampton of yore.
No, not at all.
But Peter Frampton can still play,
regardless
of what he looks like. You see,
That's
see these guys up there. Now, there is an exception when you get Vince Neil from Motley Crue, and you go, dude, okay, maybe we do need a CGI hologram version of this band back in the day.
Backing tracks, sometimes they're okay.
Yeah, that's fine, but but I think as long as everybody else, if you are able to stand upright, at least to where they can recognize you as a human being playing an instrument, wheel them out there.
I gotta say, I was thinking about this. So, you look at Mick Jagger, who's now 80, and the show he still puts on.
Yeah,
I mean, he gets up every day just to remind the world that you can't be me. Because nobody has ever done what he's doing at the age of 80. And now with the British band Oasis coming back after 15 years away, I thought about an interview I saw with their singer, Liam Gallagher, who does nothing on stage. He stands at the mic, usually with his hands folded behind his back, or he plays tambourine. And that's about the extent of his performance. And I saw an interview with him from 20 years ago, and someone said, why don't you do anything? He goes, because I want to do this when I'm 80. And he goes, what? I'm not going to be like Mick Jagger and set the bar so high I got to work out. He goes, he's crazy. I goes, I love Mick, but he's got to be on the treadmill all year. I just walk out and sing, I can do this till I die. And I thought, okay, crazy like a fox. I like it.
Yeah,
I like it.
That's why we do comedy. There's no load-in. There's no roadies. You just show up. The mic check is you just literally checking the mic and walking off stage. I saw Alice Cooper the other night on a couple Sundays ago. Did you guys go, Rob Zombie?
Didn't see it, no.
First time I've ever seen Alice Cooper. We looked it up. He's 77, 78?
Gotta be.
Unbelievable show.
Yeah.
Guy brings it. I've never seen Alice Cooper. Obviously, I've heard the legend, and I don't know. I've noticed, I went back and kind of did a deep dive on Alice Cooper, and I realized that all of his female guitar players at the beginning was like, give me somebody I could date. And then he was like, and then it got to the 80s, and he was like, okay, give me somebody who I could be their dad. And then it got to the 90s, he was like, give me somebody I could be their grandpa. And then it got to now, and he's like, okay, give me somebody I could date again. It's weird that it's gone full circle in his like upper 80s. So,
these are the standard. These are the steps one goes through. You know, if you want to maintain, if you want that career to go on into the fifth decade, you got to bring it right. It's like the black belt eventually becomes white again. You know, that's what that's all about.
Yeah, you're right.
For our martial art enthusiasts out there. Rudy Pavich is at the Comedy Corner Underground in Minneapolis, 13th and 14th of September. Rudy, though, I mean, big news, man. You got some plans on the horizon. You're moving out.
Yeah, so September 13th, the night that we do the first night of recording, is my 44th birthday. I thought, man,
nice.
What a great way to kind of, mark the occasion. Yep. And then this is the last time I'm headlining in Minneapolis, because after that, I'm moving to Las Vegas. I'm out.
How about that?
Las Vegas.
Yeah.
Holy smokes. Just moving to Vegas. The state of Nevada calls.
Yeah, well, the no state income tax is very, very alluring.
It helps.
That's big.
Yeah.
But the other things are, I'm at Jimmy Kimmel's Comedy Club. I've been working there now for the last year.
Yep.
And then just recently got on at Brad Garrett's at MGM Grand.
Very nice.
So between those two, and then also the opportunities that I have with a couple of guys I work with, it just kind of made sense that this was gonna happen. And my daughter is staying here in Minnesota. She doesn't want to leave, because first off, I'm glad that she's not. I don't need her out there by herself, no friends, no family. Yeah, that can be a debaucherous place at a young age. So she's staying here. The exact conversation we had when I told her that we were moving was, and I'm not making this up, she was distraught.
And she's how old now?
16.
16.
Yeah, just beside herself. And she was like, you are not going to sell this house. This is where my friends are. This is where my family is. We are not leaving. And I said, well, sweetie, if I sell the house, I can buy buy you a car. And she goes, what year?
I'll miss this place.
I'll send you links of everything I've been looking at Car and Driver, okay?
Yeah, right.
So she is so... Kids are very transactional, and the second I said I'll buy you a car, she was like, "Okay, we can get rid of this house now."
Yeah. So there's nothing to question about your parenting. Then you've cracked the code.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You just if there's ever a problem, you throw money at it until the problem goes away.
See, that's how that works. By the way, I will. One thing you said, I find Vegas can be a debaucherous city at any age, not just for the youngsters.
Yeah.
Is there a gambling streak in you?
There was. It's gone.
Really?
Yeah, I don't do it much. In fact, I've really kind of gotten healthy over the last probably 18 months. Because, like at some point, I've realized that when they talk about aging is not this sort of straight line up. It's very plateaued. Mm-hmm. So you age very fast, and then you get to a spot, and then you stay there for about 6-7 years. And
very
then you
true.
Age very fast, and then you plateau. And when I got to my last plateau, I was noticing the hangovers are a little bit longer. I was in Boston at Laugh Boston this past weekend, and we just got hammered on Saturday. Had the best night of my life. Boston was so much fun. We went to the Cheers bar. We hung out. Boston College had that game against FSU on Monday, so people were already on Saturday. It was college football day, and by the time Tuesday rolled around, that's when I felt normal again. Yeah. So I've really gotten healthy. So even the nights where I'm in Vegas, a lot of times when I do Vegas, I'll fly from Minnesota. I get there Thursday. I do the Thursday night 7 p.m. and the 9:30 show, and then I fly out immediately Friday morning at like 7 a.m. to get back here because I have to travel again for shows. And I have realized that if I don't leave the club by 11:30 and get in bed and get at least 5 hours of sleep, I'm done for the weekend.
Sure.
So I've just gotten to that point where now, like, I wake up every day, I got a system, I stretch, I write, I just, meditate. I do things that are healthy now. And Vegas, I'm like the only guy who's going to move to Vegas and get healthier. It doesn't happen that way. Yeah. Everyone's like, you're going to go Nicolas Cage and drink yourself to death. I was like, not anymore. I mean, maybe when I was 27, but not now.
It's honestly as simple as just listening to your body, but that can be really hard to do for a while.
Long time. Yeah. I mean, I have family members that are well into their 60s that still don't listen to themselves. Yeah. It's awful.
No, it's tough. Rudy, but something else too, you moving to Vegas, what that means is some up-and-comer now has a better shot in town. I mean, this is a hell of a comedy community, and we talk about it all the time when comedians come in. It's a great place to get your start. It's a great place to be from, but it's really a great place to leave, too, at some point.
Absolutely, yeah. We were chatting about this, that there was a kid last night, a kid from Duluth, guy named Sam, very funny. I did a show with him last night in St. Paul, and he's moving from Duluth down to Minneapolis. And I said, great time, man, because there is probably like 7 or 8 of us local comics that are either features or headliners that are all moving right now. We're either going to Vegas or LA or New York.
Right.
So there's going to be opportunity for some of these younger kids who are just getting their feet wet in this business to be able to move up a little bit. So, and I think as artists, you have to, and especially a city like Minneapolis, it's very community driven and it's great, but boy, you hear from the guys that go out and they do something for, 5 years in LA, New York, Vegas, Seattle, Nashville, Austin. They all come back and that's where their careers really take off. Yep. But for you to be able to appreciate this place, you have to leave for a little while anyways.
I don't, and in the music world that I come from and I'm still a part of, I've said this many times, so many producers and players that I know from here, they're all back now because they're all my age, 50s, early 60s, but they all left at one point. And this is the best place to start and the best place to return.
Yeah, if by the time I hit the age of 55, if I am not living in Grand Rapids, Minnesota, I'm going to be very distraught. Something went wrong. That is my dream in life. They're like, what do you want to do? I'm like, I want to move to the middle of nowhere. I want to talk to nobody. I want a flip phone. Like, these are the things I want. I don't want to be connected anymore. Like, I just thought that was the thing. I got to move to a big city, and I got to be in the know, and I got my name on the marquee. Now I just literally need a 12-pack and a lake. And that's all I need. I don't want any more. That's it.
That's a good thing, man. Yeah, my definition of success a few years ago, I realized, I think the new definition is just when I take my cell phone and throw it into a lake.
Yeah.
And then never replace it. That's what it comes down to now.
Yeah, I am so looking forward to that moment in my career when I can have an assistant. With just somebody else, like everyone's gonna. Sorry, Mom, you got to go through Dale to get to me. All right, you got call him, and then he'll let you know my schedule, and I'll give you a call. I don't know why my assistant's name is Dale.
No, I like it, man. That's strong, Dale. I know it works. It's a man or a woman. There's a lot of Dales out there.
A lot of Dales.
Man, that's fantastic. Comedy Corner Underground in Minneapolis, the 13th and 14th. You said you're recording.
Yeah, so everybody's doing specials nowadays. My numbers for, I've talked about this with like PR firms and stuff. I just don't have those sort of numbers yet to be able to do. And I also don't want to do. I don't want to. The industry will tell you when you're ready.
Sure.
I think there's a lot of people who try to shoehorn themselves into situations, and I was like that for a long, long time.
Right.
And you kind of have to be. You kind of have to be very full of yourself to do any sort of art. But I kind of want the industry to tell me when, okay, now you're ready.
Yeah.
But there's two things. I'm just doing an album. It's not a special. You're not going to be able to see the video on YouTube or Netflix or anything. I just want an album to be able to put it out onto Spotify or just the digital places people can find it. Try to get it onto some of the platforms where you can actually start making money with your audio. But then after that, I'll wait until somebody comes knocking to tell me that I'm ready for that kind of special.
Sure.
Because I would much rather just do something where I feel comfortable with it. And then on top of it, I am tired of these jokes. I am tired of some of these. There's some of these jokes are 4 years old, 5 years old, and I'm done with them. It's been great, but it's time to put them all to rest. Like I made a poster the other day that said, "Blowing out the candles and 5 years worth of jokes," and that is I'm so
That's
done
nice.
with some of these. Yeah,
sure. No, I got you. It's they're annoying in that they still work. It's hard to let go of something that works.
Yeah. If I got to tell that Blink-182 joke one more time, I am going to lose it. So,
what was I thinking when I wrote good jokes?
Yeah, I'm going to go Blink-187 on somebody.
Damn straight you are. The Vegas years are looming, man. Life rewards action. Get out there. Go get them.
Buddy. Thank you.
That's
I appreciate
awesome.
That. And thank you, guys. It's been great. Obviously, this won't be the last time our paths cross.
Of course.
It's always great. And I appreciate everything you guys have done, not only for us, but also I was watching Chad Daniels' last comedy special, and he thanked the crew at KQ. So that's very nice of
Well,
him to
what I hear in between all that is that we now have a place to crash in Vegas. So thank you.
Absolutely. Anytime you guys want. Yeah. Because you got the backstage passes, and I got the spare bedroom. And this is a match made in heaven, you guys.
We got to do it. We're going to do it. We got to exchange schedules. You tell me where you want to go, and as long as you've got. I mean, I like the mattress isn't so important. The mattress pad is really what it's all about. I'll send you some links. Make sure we're all comfortable when we get there.
Absolutely.
September 13th and 14th, Comedy Corner Underground in Minneapolis. You can get tickets at comedycornerunderground.com. Rudy, it's always a pleasure, brother.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
Top 5 at 9 up next. Hang tight.
It's the KQ Morning Show, 92 KQRS. You're listening to the KQ Morning Show. Steve, Zepp, Tony, and Ryder on 92 KQRS.
I can quit anytime I want, but I want another bowl. No! Sounds like he's got to have another bowl of the addictive new tobacco-based cereal from William Morris, Sugar Smokies. Increasing the nicotine levels has worked for cigarettes, making it easier to get hooked and harder to quit. The same principles go into every box of Sugar Smokies. Dad, I said another bowl. Come on, man. I'm getting the shakes. Have a heart. Just like Daddy's Marlboros. Oh, boy! Spoonfuls of tiny, bite-sized, sugar-coated cigarettes that hit the spot. And Sugar Smokies never get soggy. Just pour on the milk and snap, crackle, and puff. With every fix, they keep their crunch. I gotta see Sugar Smokies. You just gotta have them in regular and menthol. I'm hooked.
Yeah.
Snap, crackle, and puff on your Sugar Smokies. I'm Steve Gorman. This is the KQ Morning Show for September the 4th. It's a Wednesday morning. Good morning. Right now, we've got your top 5 at 9. Speaking of our Sugar Smokies, a research study at Ohio State University has determined chocolate chip cookies are, in fact, addictive and about as addictive as with the same levels of all the things in your brain that make you an addict, the same level of addictivity, I'll make that word up, as cocaine.
Wow.
As cocaine. Sugar is incredibly addictive, which you probably know.
Yeah.
Chocolate chip cookies are loaded with it. There's 2 teaspoons of sugar per cookie.
Yeah.
So that alone does that. Then the fat in the cookies will get you hooked. The chocolate chips also contain a small amount of a compound that triggers your brain in the same exact spot that weed does.
Yeah.
And that makes you happy.
This makes sense. I went over to buy some chocolate chip cookies from a guy one time.
Yeah.
And he didn't have the chocolate chip cookies. Chainsawed him in half. Took him into the shower, handcuffed him to the shower, and just chainsawed his limbs right off.
Yep.
You'll give me the cookies. I'll get my cookies.
There's one thing about chocolate chip cookie addiction that's a little more troubling than, say, your cocaine, or in the example you gave, your crack pipe. There's a nostalgia around cookies, the taste and especially the smell that gives people a temporary shot of good feelings. We all have memories of childhood and, my mom or my grandma made those chocolate chip cookies. We don't have that when it comes to hard drugs. Most of us, thankfully, don't associate the parts
warm,
of drug use with.
feelings.
Yeah, remember sitting around the campfire with mom and dad and but chocolate chip cookies do tap into that, and it can be more. It can even be more difficult because of that extra emotional component.
If you're home shopping, some of the smart ones, part of the staging process is they'll have they'll bake chocolate chip cookies and have the scent wafting throughout the property.
Buy whatever you're selling.
That's exactly right. Speaking of addiction, nothing funny about it at all, but there are gamer addictions. Gaming addictions are really troubling.
That's right.
And one of the things that's far more difficult to snap out of, there's a fact that most gamers start playing games, you're already alone. Drinking and drugs, those are more sociable. You're with a community of people, and and when people start to do it by themselves, even the worst of addict has a recognition of, oh crap, I'm doing this alone. That might be problematic. Gamers start alone, and that whole emotional, it's a whole different set of circumstances. It can be really tricky. So put down the chocolate chip cookies. If you're starting to sweat right now at the sound of what we're talking about, maybe look in the mirror and maybe try to go a day without one and see where you are. How about this? Number 4 on your top 5 at 6. This is a little bit of a sunnier story than chocolate chip addiction. Well, depending on if you get the good stuff or not. A study in England says researchers are figuring out whether taking small doses of LSD will help you work better. That's right. LSD on the job. The theory is that a little bit like microdoses help you feel more creative, productive, and even focused. The question, of course, is, but does that mean you actually are more creative, more productive, and more focused? Because I haven't done LSD in a long time, but when I have felt all those things and more.
Yeah, say in the cockpit. Maybe that would
probably not the perfect place.
Why are we trying not to get high? Why are we working so hard? I know people that I can't sleep, so I just do some edibles. I'm like, oh, that sounds like a great way to spend an evening. No. You don't get high. You do just enough not to get high.
Yeah.
Then what the hell are you doing it for? You're skipping the fun part.
Exactly.
So we're microdosing acid. What do you want to ruin acid for? Do enough to get really high and then go to work. See what happens.
Let me tell you something. I've had a job for many, many years that people say acid makes it better. That's playing music. I've played one gig on an acid hangover. It was the worst. It was the worst thing ever.
I can't think of anything. You about the aforementioned video games. I don't think I could do on acid. Acid it's difficult to watch TV, but it's been a while since I've done acid.
The first song of the night, I just remember thinking, my God, this song is taking forever. And we hadn't even hit the chorus yet. But I was like, I never knew this song was this long. And then I'm like looking around, I'm like, no one else has even looked back at me yet. And then I'm like, they can tell I can't play drums anymore. And they're shunning me. And then it's like, no, wait, they're not looking back because I'm doing fine. Muscle memory is a beautiful thing. God, this song is taking forever. And then by the second song, it just sort of worn off because it was from the day before.
Right.
The fact still remains. I don't need LSD to get my job done. I can tell you that.
I don't know what microdosing LSD is anyway. You take such a small amount.
It doesn't take much.
For such a powerful high. What do you do? Just like wave it in front of your mouth or something?
That could very well be the case. Number 3 on your top 5 at 9. The Park Tavern tragedy Sunday night, where a drunk driver rolled up onto the patio, killed 2 people, and put a whole lot more people in the hospital. The police did release some information. The driver blew 4 times the legal limit, a .325. We don't have to say much other than, my God, this is absolutely horrific. And I would certainly hope that this man, whose name I don't care to share, is not ever seen out in public again.
You know, you're right. What else do you add to this? But because this person had received many DUI, I heard 5 DWI convictions in the state of Minnesota, and was going to be going away for a long time and throwing away the key. But, you know, people like this aren't going to learn until you lock them up. And then I guess it's a moot point if they learn. Maybe it's, I don't know if maybe you've isolated yourself so much, but is there anyone around you? You know, maybe we need to do a better job of society of saying, hey, you're not going anywhere. You're not driving. And I'm not applying that to this case.
No, I know.
You know, we just.
But the point, if 5 DUIs or DWIs, that tells me that this guy never drives sober. You don't get busted every time you're out. If you're getting popped 5 times, that means that I would assume you're rarely ever driving not under the influence.
It's not going to end unless it ends like this.
Yep. Awful across the board. Number 2 on your top 5 at 9. Throughout America, now that everybody's back in school, the school year's upon us. Some states start as early as like August 1st. Minnesota this week, most places are going back in. Around the country, a lot of schools are banning certain items from classes. One big one is cell phones. For the first time, more schools are saying, hey, you know what? We tried. No, you can't have them in the classroom at all for any reason. And as much as my first thought is, that makes perfect sense, of course. Boy, once kids have had cell phones for a while, taking them away, there's going to be some difficult days as kids adjust to not having that phone in their hand.
Yeah, they're not happy about it.
I see Monica, one of our teachers listening in this early morning, we brought this up to start the show, said, you know what, as teachers, you can't get rid of it. It's not going anywhere. It's also going to be part of their lives. She's trying to, and she said the name of the school. I don't have her email in front of me. Sorry, Monica. But trying to figure out how to incorporate the cell phone into the classroom and make it work and use it as a tool, I suppose, kind of like when the teachers started allowing us to use calculators.
Yeah, right. With those cell phones, obviously, assuming you have a strong, a nice connection, either cellularly or with Wi-Fi, the kids can look up all sorts of information like cat videos and cat and dog videos and reptile scary videos and all the other things.
They're just texting each other in class. It's passing the notes.
All the information in human history right there, and we're watching cats. That's just kind of how that goes. There's a school in Alabama. Check this out. They have removed mirrors from girls' restrooms.
Good luck with all that.
They say that girls are taking too long in there because they're just so concerned with their appearance that it's become a distraction. So now, no mirrors in the girls' restrooms. That's at a high school in Alabama. Whoo, boy.
Boy, I mean, it's going to be, if you're a guy and you want to get noticed by a gal in that school, I'd wear those mirrored glasses.
That's exactly
mirrored
right.
Suckers going, hey, you want to take a look at yourself? Come on over here.
Or I could see a guy where, he's got like a trench coat and he opens one flap and it's just like mirrors. He says, $2 a minute. Let's go. $2
you have to buy them on the streets.
There you go.
Behind the bleachers.
Yo, mirrors. I got your mirrors right here. How big you want? Yeah. Come on, man. It's all about the mirrors. Number 1 on your top 5 at 6. Sad news out of Norway. The white beluga whale that was seen off the shores of Norway over recent years with a camera attachment connected to it that was traced back to St. Petersburg. There's a whale. That's right. A white beluga whale that apparently, well, for lack of a better word, was a Russian spy. And it was cruising around the coast of Norway. That very whale has turned up dead, floating off the shores. The media in Norway called this whale Vladimir. Haval is the word for whale, and then you add Vladimir for Vladimir Putin, so it's Vladimir. Has been lifted out of the water with a crane. Nearby experts will examine to see what happened, but apparently this whale, like other whales, could have very well been trained by the Russian Navy for military purposes.
Well, there you go. I mean, the rest of the world has drones, artificial intelligent robots, super soldiers.
Yep.
You're going with the training of the whales there. That's a way to keep it real and old school, Russia.
You know, I have one simple request, and that is to have sharks with frickin' laser beams attached to their heads.
Is that too much to ask?
Is that too much to ask? I don't know, man. I just don't understand the porpoise of all of it.
Good night, ladies.
How about that? Ba-ding, ba-ding, ba-ding. We've been talking earlier today also about with the upcoming football season. We were asking for songs. You look at your team, assuming it's the Vikings. What song suggests to you the season we are about to endure? Is there one song you could wrap around your favorite team's prospects? And the text line has just been it exploded. 651-989-ROCK. So many text messages. I just like this last one I'm seeing right now. I'm thinking Highway to Hell for the Vikings.
Yeah, and it's a rocker.
There you have it. Dave from Rochester wrote Sad Eyes.
Sad Eyes.
I mean, nowhere to go but up for this Vikings team.
Man,
all you got to do is, if you can finish 500 this year, my God, they're going to have a parade for you.
And then no shortage of people all coming in with another one bites the dust on that line. As did in one text from Bonnie in Circle Pines. Another one bites the dust. Bonnie, good morning. Circle Pines, good morning. Vikings fans, KQ fans in Circle Pines, we're all going to get through it together.
Yeah.
Rain or shine, win or lose, we're all here. We appreciate you being with us. Circle those bad boys. The NFL season is upon us this weekend, and we've been asking for songs that you would wrap around your favorite team's prospects or your feelings. Anything about, look at your favorite team, look at the season ahead. What's the theme song? I haven't seen any Pride in the Name of Loves, but before that, we heard Led Zeppelin's, and there was one text, hey, what can I do? Vikings fan. That's a pretty good one. Just throwing your hands up. I like this one as well on the KQ Talking text line. Scott from Chaska wrote, I'm going to go with the theme song from the Benny Hill Show.
Yeah, that's awesome. Let's hope it's that entertaining.
Vikings fans have got their own way of looking at the world. This is from another Sean, for whom the bell tolls.
Yeah.
Come on, Sam Darnold, prove the doubters wrong.
Well, there's Rogers here. I got stoned and missed it. I like that. I almost forgot about that old tune right there.
Somebody sent in for Once in My Life, Stevie Wonder.
I'm digging the pessimism, and here's why. Vikings fans, I feel like we always get fooled. So maybe this Sam Darnold, just maybe with the right protection. They've got some good tackles there. They've got a great left tackle there. With a running game. They're going to have a stout running game this year with all the weapons that he has.
Yeah.
Are you feeling it?
Oh, man.
Here's what I will. Here is my big prediction for the season. Big prediction for the season. The Vikings 2-0 against the Lions.
Whoa!
Yeah. And I might stretch that to 3-0, but I'm not going to make that decision until mid-season.
Wow.
Damn.
Man.
I'm just saying it
I didn't know we were going to get in a fight after the show today.
Apparently we are. I'm going to run out the back door.
If the Vikings are going to beat the Lions 3 times, they're going to have to beat a few other teams throughout the regular season as well to get to that postseason matchup. So
like I said, if we get to 3, well, I'm not ready to make that decision yet.
One more from the talking text line. Viking song. I still haven't found what I'm looking for. By you too. Yeah.
That might be the winner right there.
That's pretty much the one right there.
I'm stoked to do this again, maybe week 14 or 15, and see how these change. So,
that's a very good idea. We can always circle back and see just how brilliant or how ridiculous we were.